Before we went to our week 10 testing, we were talking about etiquette, kind of like karate manners, okay? For the last couple of weeks, Mr. Lynn and I have been going through these things and rewriting everything to get everything up to the way it's currently done today. When we first did these, there were no such thing as cell phones and tabs and anything like that at all, okay? So we had to bring things a little bit more up to date. So this is what we're going to talk about for the next few weeks, and that way there everyone will have an opportunity to hear the etiquette, ask questions if they have it, and then feel comfortable with it, okay? This gentleman, if you remember, Grandmaster Funakoshi, he created the Shotokan system of karate, which is a Japanese system. I trained in that for a little while, and he's considered the father of modern karate. And the famous quote that he gave is known almost everywhere in the karate world, that karate is not about winning or losing, it's about becoming a better person. That's what he felt karate was, and that's what he created his karate to be. All right? That doesn't mean you don't go into tournaments or anything like that. It just means that's not the important part. Growing is. And that's why we have etiquette, why we have rules to follow. They provide a nice, safe place for everyone to learn, a disciplined way of becoming courteous, not just to others, but to yourself. Because so many times we don't show enough self-respect to ourselves. And karate, hopefully you can use that. You can begin to respect yourselves as you really should. But remember, everything tells us we're not good enough, right? You don't smell good enough, you need this. You don't eat the right cereal, you got to eat this. Everything we hear day in and day out is telling us we don't look good, we don't dress good, we don't eat good, and that's just not the way that it is. That's just how they sell things, okay? Let's start with at home, because that's kind of where karate really begins, in the house. Home practice. If you care about yourself and your karate, you're going to practice a little bit. All right, if you put in 10 minutes a day, I promise you, at the end of a month, you're going to look a lot better with your karate. Not only are you going to look better, but you're going to perform better. Your proficiency and how you feel when you're running, it's going to get better. Remember, you don't become a black belt here. You got to think about that. What do you mean? You become a black belt at home. This is where you learn. This is the learning place, but you go home and practice it, and it's that practice that makes you a black belt. It's kind of like when you get your driver's license, they have something called driver education, and you go to that and you sit down, you take classes and you take notes and you pass little quizzes and things like that. But those classes don't make me a driver. They're just classes where I'm learning things. What makes me a driver? Driving at home. See, we don't think enough about home and how that really is a part of our life, very important part of our lives. So remember, practice at home because you can become a black belt at home. We have great stuff online right now for you to train with. We have our own little Vimeo channel, and if you download the app, and if you haven't done that yet, download it. There is probably the largest collection of American Kenpo information that's currently available online. Almost. There's still a few out there. I have a few more things than we do just now. But in terms of this and what's available for you at no cost, you can go right there. Now, I went on the other night. Look at this for the basics. Your basics are listed up here too, everything you need. And then the videos can show you what you don't remember. That's incredible. That's like having a private anytime you want it, okay? So take advantage of that because it may not be up there forever, okay? This is important. Please don't teach anyone karate, and that means here or anywhere else, okay? That's something that I'm always looking at because to me that's a big thing. It's like, can I trust you? Are you trustworthy, okay? I know good people, you want to help somebody who's struggling, and I appreciate that, and I'm the exact same way. But some things when I help somebody kind of cross a line, and teaching this stuff to somebody is one of those lines. Well, why is that? Because you're probably going to teach it with some mistakes in it, and that means that that person's going to learn something that isn't really correct, and if they ever do anything with it, they're probably going to get hurt. And when they get hurt, it's your fault for teaching them that they got hurt. Okay? Our fault for teaching you and trusting you with the material. Okay? So please don't teach anyone. Family, go right ahead. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, grandma, grandpa, go right ahead. Teach them anything you want. There's no problem there at all. But just people outside your family and kids at school, you know, sometimes kids at school can be bullies. And sometimes the person's a bully and you never know it. The kids being bullied know it, but you never know it. So just to be safe, please don't teach anyone, and not here either. If you see someone struggling, ask a teacher to come over and help them. Boy, is that a grown-up thing to do. Please don't enter any tournaments without checking with us first, just as a courtesy. Our studio has to be associated with everyone who participates in a tournament. And if we don't know about it, and they ask us, did you sanction this person? Go, we have to say, no, I'm sorry, we didn't. Okay, so just let us know. We don't want to just know to stop anything, but we have a part in all of that we need to play as well. Okay, and the same thing with the belt promotional ceremony. I'm going to tell you a very true story. We had a red coat once, an adult, who taught in a school. He came in one day and asked me, my student is getting their black belt at a graduation ceremony, can I go? I said, oh, absolutely. But if they ask the audience, does anyone here train in the martial arts? Don't say anything. Leave your hands down. Don't acknowledge that you do karate at all. He said, no, okay, all right. He comes back a couple of days later, he goes, boy, am I glad I talked to you before I went. What did they do? Hey, everybody here, how many of you do the martial arts? And if you raised your hand, they said, good, come on down here for a minute, come on down. And they embarrassed these people, hitting them around a little bit, showing how their karate was superior. Okay? And he said that would have been me if I hadn't known that. Check with us first, because I can probably save you from being embarrassed or just contributing to a very uncomfortable situation. Okay? Again, the reasons behind these things are not, we want you to be on leashes. No, we want you to have fun, go out there and see things. But tournaments and belt ceremonies, check just to make sure there isn't something that you need to know about. Okay? The other way you really respect yourself, every now and then, have some fruit, have a few vegetables, okay? Drink some good stuff, water, anything like that, good juices, anything. That's important. It's so important because what you put in here is what your engine's going to run on. And if you're always putting in Big Macs and fries and shakes, you're not going to be running real good all the time. And that might be why some people, we get tired. And whenever we get tired, we get cranky. And whenever we get cranky, stay away, because we're going to say or do something cranky. Okay? That, and then make sure you get enough sleep. How many of you would take your tablet, or you would take your cell phone and you would use it from 8 o'clock in the morning until like 10 or 11 o'clock at night? You know you can't do that. Why can't you do that? What needs to happen first? I gotta charge it, because it only goes so long, right? So if I'm working on batteries, I got maybe 8, 9 hours, whatever it usually lasts, depending on the batteries and the age of the phone. And then I got to recharge it. And then once it's recharged, you can use it like normal. It works beautifully. Maybe, I know mine, the lights go off. As soon as I'm down to like 4%, I lose my lights. It kind of forces me to plug it in. Maybe you get a little bit cranky or drowsy or something like that when you need to be recharged. So this is a wonderful way to stay healthy, okay? And this is such an important thing. And it's more, it was never an issue. When I was growing up, even as a young adult, it wasn't an issue, but it's a big issue today. Be careful what you post in any type of social media, anything at all. Just be careful. I'm not saying don't do this, I'm saying just be careful. Because anything that you post has a chance of being online forever. There are some places that you can hire and they go in and take care of a lot of that. I don't think anybody can guarantee that every single picture and every single message that you sent is gone. Because what is happening now, colleges are now beginning to look at a person's social media before they decide if they're going to accept them. There are people who've lost scholarships. They've lost the money that the school gives you to go to school. See, I can't pay for it, I don't have enough money, so the school gives me a scholarship so I can go, and then they take that away. If you've had posts in the past, even years ago, that weren't very good, weren't very nice, okay? That is very real. Go home tonight and Google being fired because of something posted years ago, and you're gonna see so many things you're not gonna believe it. And so this is such an important thing today. Be very, very careful what you post, all right? Because it may come back later on, and it might not be a really comfortable reunion, okay? And that's going to do it. Next time, we're going to look at etiquette in the karate school, right in here, and all the do's and the don'ts and the things like that. Why we do certain things and why we don't. For example, a lot of martial artists bow when they greet each other. We don't usually do that in Kenpo. It's not like it's a bad thing to do, but we don't do that. And we'll talk about a little bit why that is, okay? So we'll do that, and again, you guys were a great audience. Give yourselves a hand, thank you.